Hello, Year 8. It's Miss Leaders here to talk you through your first assessment for this term. So, this term we've been looking all at civics and citizenship, looking at politics and law, and you've been looking at the different ways we can participate in democracy through things like protests, petitions, lobby groups. Now it's your chance to create a campaign on something you are passionate about. So, let's take a look at what you need to do. Step number 1, you need to think about some issues in society that you feel strongly about and choose one to focus on. So I know in your classwork, some of the ones you've looked at is things like Black Lives Matter or climate change or different issues that people are passionate about. There's some examples down the bottom in the boxes that might get you started, things like bullying, the mobile phone ban in schools, refugee rights, social media, any topic at all that you would like to create a campaign about in terms of changing the law or changing the public's attitude about that issue. All right, step number 2 and 3. You need to identify your key contention. What is your campaign about? Explain it in one sentence. And then 3 main changes you would like to make in terms of law or public attitudes and awareness. Now, I've got a sample here that's also available on the task on Compass, and I've put it all into a Google slide. So step 2 and 3 was to have a contention and change of sort. An example is the Black Lives Matter. Their contention is to gain equality for people of colour. And 3 main changes they are seeking is less deaths in the justice system, higher education rates, and more people of colour in power and parliament. Great. That's step 2 and 3 ticked off. Step number 4 is to write a 400 to 500 word letter to your local MP outlining your campaign, including arguments, counter-arguments, and evidence support your campaign. So if we click back over to the sample, across 2 slides is a letter written to a member of parliament outlining their campaign. There's different evidence, there's different counter-arguments in there. So that is the next step. Step number 5 is to create a petition with a brief 100-word statement convincing people to sign. So again, if I go over to the sample, you'll see a 100-word statement that is at the beginning of a petition, trying to convince people to sign the petition. Step number 5 is creating a campaign video to persuade your audience, including arguments, evidence, and counter-arguments. If you go to the sample on Compass, there is an example of a campaign video. Now, exciting news, the Victorian Parliament is currently running a competition that is, if you are MP, what is one issue that you would raise in Parliament? So if you make a video that goes for 90 seconds, because that is the time limit for the competition, you can enter it, and the winners get $500 each, which is a fantastic prize. So jump onto Compass or Google Classroom to see the link to enter your video in the competition. Step number 7 is finally to choose one creative element to create, either a logo, a protest poster, or an Instagram post. So if we go back over to the sample, here's an example of a logo you might create. Here's an example of a protest poster you might create. Or here is an example of an Instagram post. This sample task on Black Lives Matter is all up on Compass, so you'll be able to check it out there if you want to look at it in more detail. Now, never forget to have a very good look at the rubric and read through carefully what you need to do to get the higher levels, because there are 6 things that you need to do to complete this task. That's it from me. Make sure you chat to your teachers if you need any help with this task. You've got 2 weeks to complete it. So good luck and have fun. We look forward to seeing your campaigns.